Welcome to Americana Quill, Writer to Writer. Please like and subscribe and tell a friend that likes to subscribe. This week, my guest is a writer of music. She's a lyricist and has penned some great songs that you can find on YouTube and some of them on Spotify. Some of her songs are Goodbye Asshole, Mansions, G.I. Jane, and Level Up are just to name a few of her songs. She is a devoted mother to her beautiful daughter, and she has a great spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Chrissy Whyte to the show, and one of my good friends also.
You make me sound so amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on your podcast with you.
Well, thank you for just, taking the time of your busy day to just be a part of my journey of just starting this podcast. This is something very new for me as I'm getting used to having to talk out loud and things like that, like outside of just regular social conversations. So this is something new for me that I'm starting to get into to enjoy, but it's still very, very shaky for me. Still feel like I'm working the kinks out.
I'm super, super honored. Like I couldn't be more happy to be on your show with you. And I feel like you're so well spoken. So it's a surprise for me to hear that you're getting the kinks out. But thank you so much for having me here with you.
No, thank you. So I guess my first question is, what first got you into music? Was it the words of people? Was it the beat? Like what was it?
It would have to be the words of people. I always loved to write, to create. The first book that really got me into the flow of turning it into music and not just poetry was The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac Shakur. Um, I realized that he started off as a poet and then became a rapper, a lyricist, an artist of music. And I felt instantly like I can do that. I can make music if it's simply just not simply because it's not simple, but if it starts from poetry and turns into music, I can do that. And that's what started the whole entire journey of me making music.
Well, that's amazing because I actually bought that book too. I bought it when I was 16 years old. I think actually closer to where he grew up in Maryland when I was on a post grad trip of camp. So when I was on the camp trip, I bought that poetry book and actually read some of it. I don't know if I ever finished it. I don't know where it's at now, but I remember having that book at one point for sure.
I found the book actually in my sixth grade class, which was mind blowing. You know, like uh, I was in the sixth grade. I never forget. Shout out to Miss Dabassi because she's probably the reason why I'm even a rapper today. Um, we had a whole bunch of books on this shelf that was like exactly by my desk. That was exactly by my desk, and I kind of like leaned back and noticed the book on the bottom of the shelf, and
Mhm.
instantly was like, uh, started reading it, and I was like, whoa, mind you, being in the sixth grade, I must have been not that old, and fell in love with the fact that he was a poet because I already know who Tupac Shakur was, of course. But
So the Tupac also get you into writing because of that? Like, was he your main influence just to at least put things pen to paper?
um, I would say yes, yes. He was my main influence,
Or
being
your
that he was
start at least? Maybe that's a better way of putting it.
so because the fact that I knew that he was already a icon of music, but
Hmm.
seeing it come from that starting point of it being poetry, that's what really like intrigued me into because I was already deeply into poetry and writing and like even writing like little short stories of my day, like just being creative with words. But when I got the book and I realized, whoa, this is a icon, this is a mogul. But he started off with poetry. I was like, I can do this, and he definitely was one of my main reasons why.
No, that's super dope. So, what is your creative process like now as a writer of music and as an artist?
My creative process, I have to be at my clearest of thoughts. So for me, is usually early in the morning or late at night. So like when my day is ended and I feel like I'm at peace with myself, I have to I'm so sorry, bro. You want to start over?
No. It's all right. It's okay. Just I'll let the audience know that you are still watching your beautiful daughter as we're doing this interview. So it's all good.
So definitely early in the morning or at the end of the day where I'm at peace, I'm silent, and I don't have a lot going on because when my mind is cluttered, I literally can't write. I take a few beats. Shout out to my brother, also H Billy Beats, who makes all of my beats. I'll listen to like I always go in with a like a feeling. So I know already what type of beat I want, what type of bounce I want. If I want it to be sad, if I want it to be, like a fast song, I already go in with that concept. I listen to tons of little beats and whatever grasps me, I start off with
Mhm.
that. I listen to the beat first and I'm trying to create what kind of topic I want to speak about while I'm listening to the beat and seeing how it flows with it. And the magic happens after that.
That's a pretty. It sounds much easier than I'm sure it actually is, as far as the writing process goes. Is there
It's
specific formula though that you like of how you know if you're going to try to make it for a hit or the chorus? Do you have like a certain mind state of all right, it got to fit in these measurements for it to make sense for it to be a good song, or have to be an amount of time only for it to be a lovable song for everyone?
I try to go with I always go off of my natural feeling. I don't force things. So if I have to feel like this fits in pocket, the way I start off with, I always try to start off with the hook. So as long as I can come up with the hook first, because I feel like that's what actually creates the song. For me, it does, or it like molds the song into what it's gonna be. I always try to start off with the hook. It doesn't have to be specific of like if I'm gonna just say 3 bars and repeat it or something like that. But I always start off with the hook. Um, and then I always push myself to write at least a 32 because that's just like how I like to hear songs. I like to hear the continuation. Um and
Wow,
yeah,
that's interesting. So you write 32 bars and then you'll break them up so it's at least audible for the audience to hear it.
because that's the way my brain works. Yeah. So the reason why is also is I don't write down my music. So I'm not the greatest at like freestyling, but when I'm writing a song, my thoughts move extremely quick. And if I'm writing, it's slowing me down and it's not letting my thoughts process the way I need them to process. So when I'm writing a song, I just let it flow. And if I push myself to at least a 32, then I already know like how I'm naturally feeling about the song and how I want the song to flow and what pocket that I need the flow to go into.
So you basically punch in after you get the 32 out and then you fix up the words and everything else.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I punch in a lot. So like I break it up a lot and I make it work for me. So
That's dope.
yeah.
That's an interesting recording process.
Some would say it's difficult.
Well, I'm sure whoever has to mix it and everything, I'm sure that and recording you, I'm sure they find it difficult, but it's interesting for sure.
Thank you.